It came in a gold-trimmed envelope with elegant calligraphy, the kind of invitation that immediately told you, you're either part of this world or you're not. Isla Carter sat at her tiny kitchen table, the paper heavy in her fingers, her heart heavier still. The name on the card shimmered in embossed letters. Evelyn Stone and Marcus Blythe cordially invite you to the wedding of the year. Isla hadn't spoken to Evelyn in 5 years, not since college when Evelyn had transformed from her best friend into someone she barely recognized, rich, arrogant, and aloof. Yet, here it was, an invitation to her wedding, sent to Isla's modest Brooklyn apartment. Why now? Isla whispered, the envelope trembling slightly in her hands. Her fingers brushed over the edge of the paper as a flood of memories rushed in, childhood sleepovers, shared secrets, tears, and laughter under blankets with flashlights. All of it faded away the moment Evelyn stepped into the world of high society and Isla was left behind. Still, the ache in Isla's heart told her she couldn't ignore the invitation. Isla stared at herself in the mirror. The reflection that looked back wasn't glamorous. Her dark curls fell softly to her shoulders, her olive skin still glowed with natural warmth, but the designer dress she could not afford. Instead, she wore a modest lavender gown she'd altered herself, simple, clean, and honest. She wasn't going to the wedding to impress. She was going for closure. Her phone buzzed. "Daniel, I wish I could come, love. But the investor dinner can't be moved. Call me the second you need me." She smiled faintly. Daniel, her husband, her rock. They had married quietly just over a year ago, no flashy celebrations, no grand announcements. Just the two of them and a small promise, to build their life on truth, not spectacle. Isla replied. I'll be okay. It's just a few hours. Love you. She took a deep breath, picked up her small clutch, and walked out the door. The grand ballroom of the Ritz was bathed in crystal light. Guests shimmered in couture and diamonds. Every eye was perfectly painted, every smile carefully curated. And then there was Isla, walking alone, unnoticed at first. Then the whispers began. "Is that Isla? She came alone. She looks the same. Poor thing." A couple near the champagne table chuckled, not even trying to hide it. Evelyn, adorned in a gown worth more than Isla's yearly salary, walked by with an entourage. "Well," Evelyn said with a glossy smirk, "you made it. I didn't think you'd show." Isla forced a smile. "Thanks for the invitation." Evelyn leaned in closer. "Still alone, I see. No +1. Before Isla could answer, Evelyn was swept away by another guest. Isla's heart pounded. This was a mistake. But she stood her ground. She walked over to the refreshment table, ignoring the whispers, ignoring the pity. She had something they didn't, peace. The night she met Daniel came flooding back as she sipped from her glass. It was at the downtown gallery where Isla worked as a part-time curator. She had arranged an exhibit of young, struggling artists. Most attendees that night were more interested in wine than art, except one. Daniel. He stood before a painting of a girl in the rain and said, "This feels like the moment before everything changes." Isla was drawn to him immediately. Not because he was handsome, which he was, but because he saw things. He returned the next day. And the day after. What started with art became coffee, then long walks, then nights under the stars, and finally, a proposal in the quietest corner of Central Park, under snowfall. He never flaunted his wealth. He never used it to win her. That's why she fell in love. And that's why no one at this wedding knew his name. The laughter got louder as the speeches began. Isla sat quietly in the back. One bridesmaid openly mocked her dress, another giggled, whispering something to a guest who looked Isla up and down. It felt like high school all over again. She reached into her clutch, about to call for a cab and leave quietly. Just then, the doors opened. Gasps. Heads turned. And in walked Daniel. Sharp black tuxedo. Confident stride. And when his eyes locked on Isla's, pure love. He walked straight to her, gently took her hand, and kissed it. "You didn't think I'd let you face this alone, did you?" he whispered. The room stilled. Evelyn's mouth fell open. Monica, the bridesmaid who mocked Isla, dropped her champagne flute. Daniel turned to the crowd. "I'm Daniel Carter. Isla's husband. And I've never seen a more radiant woman in my life." The guests murmured, and curiosity buzzed through the air like static. People whispered to each other, trying to place Daniel, the man who appeared out of nowhere, yet carried himself like royalty. He guided Isla to a seat closer to the head table. "I moved some things around," he whispered with a grin. "They can wait. You come first." Isla's heart swelled. As the music resumed and dinner was served, Daniel's presence transformed everything. Guests who once mocked her now offered polite smiles. Evelyn's laughter had dimmed. Evelyn approached, her voice tight. "I didn't realize you were married." Daniel answered smoothly, "For over a year now. Best decision of my life." Evelyn's eyes narrowed. "Interesting. You kept it quite hidden." "Sometimes the most valuable things are kept close," Isla said gently. Evelyn walked away, her composure cracking. During the toasts, the best man handed the mic to Daniel. He stood, smiling at Isla. "I didn't plan to speak tonight, but sometimes life puts you in the right place to say what matters most." He looked around. It's easy to get caught up in appearances. In who wears what, who arrives with whom, who holds power. But love. Love isn't loud. It doesn't need applause. It just needs truth. He reached for Isla's hand. "And the truth is, this woman beside me is the strongest, most beautiful soul I've ever known. She walks with grace through judgment and silence. And no crowd will ever define her worth." The room erupted in applause. Tears welled in Isla's eyes.